Now I'm sure by now that you're all familiar with Datsun. It was a brand reintroduced by Nissan in 2014 to serve as an entry-level offering in emerging markets like ours. However, things didn't quite go according to plan because though the cars were really affordable, they lacked that desirability. That all changed in 2018 with the facelift of the Go and the Go Plus, and today they're taking it that one step further by introducing this, an automatic gearbox. Before we go any further though, be sure to give this video a like and also subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to turn your notifications on. And let us know in the comments which entry-level automatic hatchback you like best and why. This Datsun Go, the Tata Tiago, the Maruti WagonR, the Maruti Celerio or the Hyundai Santro. The focus of this review will be the engine and gearbox, so let's quickly get everything else out of the way. All the updates from the 2018 facelift continue of course, and those include the smart looking LED DRLs, the new bumpers and the 14-inch diamond cut alloy wheels. Inside there's a more modern looking dashboard which is all black in the Go and beige in the Go Plus, and of course you get two conventional front seats instead of the bench arrangement as before. Insulation was improved with the update and there were some structural changes to make it safer, and with this update they've added even more, which has come at a small weight penalty of about 40 kilograms. The back seat as always is nice and wide, although legroom is not all that great for a car that seems quite big. Some rivals offer quite a bit more. The 265-litre boot however is of a good size. The Go Plus of course has the advantage of a much bigger boot if you aren't using its third row seats, which frankly are too cramped for anything but a short journey. The biggest change with the facelift though was that it got an equipment list befitting of this segment, which included the likes of power adjustable wing mirrors, rear parking sensors and 2 airbags. We'd still have liked to have seen a rear defogger, steering adjustment and a day-night mirror though. After the facelift they added a segment first feature, VSM, which combines traction control and stability control, which is amazing for a car of this price. And though the touchscreen is of the same 7-inch size as before, it's now a different unit with at least a few physical buttons to make things easier on the move. And now that that's all out of the way, let's get on the road and see what the CVT gearbox is like. It's important to remember that this is the first and only CVT in this segment of cars. All the others use an AMT. Now this gearbox is not without its faults, but I can tell you right off the bat that it is superior to any of the AMTs that its rivals offer. For one, there's none of that head nod that you get between ratios because of course there are no actual ratios here. And progress in general tends to be a whole lot smoother than what you'd find in an AMT equipped car. It's not all smooth sailing though. But like I said, it does have its flaws and those are typical of what you'd find in a CVT. For instance, as long as you keep a light and gentle foot on the throttle, it's perfectly fine, perfectly smooth, and that works well in the city. I tried it out in traffic earlier while leaving Chennai and it was just great. Where it does get caught out however is when you ask for a slight increase in pace, whether that be at low speeds or high speeds. If you put your foot down a little bit firmly, that's when the CVT flaws start to show. And yes, that was apparent even in the city when you were trying to sort of make a quick overtake or get around some traffic, but it's even more apparent out here on the highway. For instance, I am now cruising at about 65 kilometers an hour and my foot is light on the throttle and I'm doing about 2000 RPM. But I want to get past this truck over here, so even that wasn't a flat out acceleration, just a part throttle acceleration, but it was enough to create that rubber band effect, send the revs soaring really high up and wait for the engine to catch up with the acceleration. That said, even out here on the highway, if you want to make a steady cruise, as long as you don't put your foot down too hard and keep your throttle inputs rather consistent, it's perfectly fine at even 3-digit speeds. The engine incidentally has been updated from the old 68 horsepower state of tune that you found in the Datsun Go and even the Nissan Micra Active to the 77 horsepower state of tune from the regular Nissan Micra. It's important to know, however, that this 9 horsepower bump is only for the automatic version, while the manual continues with 68 horsepower. Now, this CVT does have another disadvantage. It doesn't have steps or artificial ratios like some others do, and therefore it doesn't have a manual mode. Definitely no pedals, but you can't even shift via the lever. What it does have instead is a sport mode activated by this small little button on the side of the lever, and that does make responses a whole lot better. So out here on the highway, for instance, you're much better off in the sport mode. Sport mode does mean that the revs build a lot quicker as soon as you touch the accelerator, but you also notice that the acceleration responds in kind. There's less of that rubber band effect. What the Datsun Go has always delivered and continues to deliver from behind the wheel is a sense of being in a bigger car for this budget. Hatchbacks in this segment tend to be a little bit smaller, and frankly, this one does have that feeling of being in a much more expensive car, at least from the dimensions. Sure, there are some cost-cutting measures. You can hear a lot of what's going on underneath and from the engine, thanks to lower insulation. And yes, the steering doesn't offer that much confidence as you would expect from a premium car, so that's sort of on par for this segment. But just the view out, the sense of space, it all feels like a much bigger, much more expensive car. However, bear in mind, once you hit 3-digit speeds on the highway, it doesn't give you quite as much reassurance as you'd expect. Now again, this highway I'm on is not the best place to demonstrate this to you, but I was on a slightly windier road earlier, and I can tell you that handling is not one of this car's fortes. Sure, it has pretty decent road holding, but the steering is far too slow to be really exciting. The ride quality, however, is really good, and the suspension does a superb job of soaking up even some of the harsher bumps. Datsun will be launching the Go and Go Plus automatics only in the top 2 variants, T and T optional. And though the price wasn't revealed yet at the time of this review, we anticipate it to be somewhere between 5.5 to 6 lakh rupees for the Go and 6 to 6.5 lakh rupees for the Go Plus, ex-showroom. That would make both of them the most affordable CVT equipped cars on the market, far lower than the likes of the Nissan Micra, Honda Jazz, Maruti Baleno and Hyundai i20. At this price point then, the Go CVT makes a strong case for itself by offering a smoother driving experience than most of its AMT equipped rivals. It also helps that it's even more fuel efficient than its manual counterpart, with an ARAI rating of 20.07 kpl. The Go and Go Plus have come a long way since they were first launched, thanks to various updates to their appearance, safety, interior and equipment. However, if that still wasn't reason enough to convince you to pick one of these Datsun hatchbacks, perhaps this added convenience of a smooth automatic gearbox at an affordable price will change your mind.